What's up, Ragin Nation? How's it going? This is Alex, and you're watching the TF Movie Show. This is just a web series where we're talking about the Transformers live-action movie franchise, episode number 16, and now is a very exciting time because San Diego Comic-Con is happening right now. It's Thursday, but tomorrow, Friday, is when the panel is taking place, and that's going to be really, really exciting because it's the first time Hasbro and Paramount has ever done a panel for a Transformers live-action movie franchise on San Diego Comic-Con. They've done it for BotCon, but they've never done it for San Diego Comic-Con. This is their first appearance, and Travis Knight's going to be there, director, and also Haley Steinfeld, John Cena, and Jorge Lindenberg Jr. And it's going to be a full-on panel. I'm pretty positive they're going to show new footage or a brand new trailer. Whether it's going to be shown online, I'm not sure about, but at least there's going to be something for the fans to see, at least if you're showing up at Comic-Con. Anyways, we're actually not here to talk about that just because, well, the panel's tomorrow. I'm going to have a new video for that. But I want to talk about the reaction from the fans about the latest reveal, and that was 5 days ago, about the Decepticons. Entertainment Weekly put out an exclusive article on the Decepticons, and that revealed Angela Bassett will be voicing a Decepticon, a brand new Decepticon known as Shatter. And that will be the first female Decepticon that will be appearing in Transformers live-action movie universe, and she's going to be a Plymouth satellite. And then there's also a blue Decepticon, who's also a muscle car, and that is an AMC Javelin, which will be voiced by Justin Theroux. And they're both muscle cars, so very, very exciting stuff. And what's also very exciting is to know that, well, the Decepticons have been revealed. We got Starscream, we got Shatter, we got Dropkick. Dropkick was a character who was in comics, IDW movie canon comics, as well as he made it as a toy. But Shatter is a brand new original character for live action movie. And this is not something new or anything because they've done this before by creating brand new characters for the films. And that's something I'm really excited about. But the reaction's always kind of mixed because we're like, who is that? Who is that supposed to be? Is it supposed to be like a version of another character? I would rather see like characters that we know. But you know what? After 6 films, I'm actually kind of accustomed and used to the fact that we're getting brand new characters. So that's pretty cool to me. Anyways, what I'm here to talk about is responding to the general reaction about this reveal. And from what I've read, it's pretty positive to mixed. Nothing too negative, but it's been pretty positive to mixed. And I just want to talk about that. So let's just go through a couple of comments that I thought that stood out that I found from my YouTube video, the previous episode number 15. And I thought that it would be a good idea to just talk about that. So here's a comment from Lunam Terrace. And the comment is, an evil female Transformer? Nice. That got 90 likes. So a lot of people are actually taking this very positively. A female Transformer, that's really, really exciting. And not only that, it's an evil female character who's brand new. So very, very awesome. Infamous Savi says, thank God we're getting female Transformers. We haven't got any really. RC wasn't even accurate. Michael Bay used her poorly. So hopefully these girls can be more lethal. 25 likes on that one. Thank you for your comment, Infamous Savi. And once again, more enthusiasm, positive reaction for the fact that we're getting a female Decepticon. Crystal Sanchez says, well, about time we get to see a femme on the Decepticon side because before we saw the females on the Autobot side. 11 likes right there. Tanner Price says, I didn't really think Shatter was a female at first. You wouldn't know that at first because she doesn't really look female. The only thing I really gathered that made her look female was the shape of her face. But besides that, you're right. Besides that, it could be just another male Decepticon. Anyways, also Dropkick goes from being comics and toy line only to being canon, from a pickup to a muscle car. Neat. So that's really cool to see that evolution of Dropkick. I know it's not a real big deal, but the fact is that they took inspiration from something and decided to evolve it. So I could definitely see the evolution there and how it looks similar to the previous, the way he looked in the previous iterations. Diesel 2212 says, so happy to hear we're getting a new female Decepticon. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't think we've had one since Arachnid from Transformers Prime. I'm pretty positive you're absolutely correct about that. There hasn't been one. And I actually really like the Arachnid character from Transformers Prime. I thought that she was very well written, and also she was a pretty lethal and dangerous Decepticon, or well, she kind of worked for herself in Transformers Prime as far as I can remember, but it was just it was a really like a really well written character. I really liked what she brought to Transformers Prime. So really happy about that. The general consensus is that people are really quite excited about the addition of a female evil Decepticon. So very cool. Selena Budget. I know I can't be the only one that noticed this glaring detail, but I believe Shatter is a rotor bot. Her alt mode is possibly an Apache attack helicopter. Those are helicopter rotor blades on her left shoulder. To me, this would make a badass looking femme Decepticon. And let's take a look at that image again. And you know what? When I first saw this image on Entertainment Weekly, I actually originally thought that was a rotor blade. But I was thinking, no, it can't be. They never said anything about it being a plane or a jet or anything like that. Or helicopter rather. That's definitely a muscle car. It says right there, it's a Plymouth Satellite. So I just went with that. And then I looked at the wheels and, the things on the shoulders. I'm thinking that's got to be wheels. Those have got to be wheels because, like I said, it never said anything about it being an aircraft. And then I looked at Dropkick, and then I saw what looked like it could be like a cockpit for some sort of aircraft. But once again, I just didn't believe it because this is, these are two muscle cars, and I'm just going to go with what it says at face value in the article. And it looks like they're keeping some surprises from us because now, like the idea of it being an aircraft is starting to look more and more obvious when you look closer. Those aren't wheels. Look how small the wheels are on Dropkick compared to whatever's on his shoulders, whatever on the shoulder of Shatter. So let's look at some more comments. Descendant of Craft. They're both triple changers. Shatter has air intakes on her knees and wings and engines on her back. There's landing gear on her stomach too. Let's take another look at that. And you know what? Looks like the triple changer theory is actually, it's becoming more and more apparent. Like I said, I really couldn't even think of that. It's you guys that, started taking a closer look and seeing all these details, and I'm like, man, you guys are really onto something, and it looks like you got to pay attention to those details. Krakumzi. Kind of wish Cliffjumper would have been in this movie. Oh well, can't have it all. I totally agree with you. I also wish that Bumblebee had a sidekick in this film, but it is Bumblebee and it will be his film. I thought even having Cliffjumper as a supporting character would be great, but I think that they just really want to keep it a really small scale film and having it more personal with just a relationship between Charlie and Bumblebee. So they just want to keep it at that. But I love the idea of Cliffjumper being in the movie. Quin Rogers says the red car should have been Knockout. So, of course, Quin is referring to Shatter, and I have a feeling that, I agree with that. I agree that it should have been Knockout, and I actually don't have a problem with it being Shatter, because, of course, they're doing new things, like bringing an evil female Decepticon to the table. I think that's great. But I think it would also be great if the Decepticon, or the red muscle car Decepticon, would have been Knockout. That would have been a great homage, or rather a great nod to the fans. I think the fans would have loved that because Transformers Prime is so great. And just having it being Knockout is something that fans would be really positively excited about. But this isn't that bad either. To bring something new like this, that's something that is fresh. It creates it opens more doors, and I really like that. So either way, what they did, whether it being a Shatter or Knockout, I have no problem with it. I think they're both great ideas. Let's see. Fubuki says, probably in the next trailer we'll see more action and these two robots will be included. And I'm just wondering, where is Barricade? That was confirmed for the movie by his voice actor. And there's a question mark there. And you know what? I'm also quite, I won't say confused, but I'm also wondering about Barricade as well. Jess Harnells did say that he is part of Bumblebee, but there is no indication of that in any way, shape, or form so far. It is early in the marketing phase. This is the very beginning. After all, the first trailer came out 3 weeks ago. Now we're at the San Diego Comic-Con, and now Entertainment Weekly has published an article. Maybe they're just keeping that as an Easter egg. with Barricade just making a cameo appearance at the end. That's something I mentioned in the previous episode number 15, and I think that's a great idea should they decide to do that. They don't have to put all the things, all the reveals in the first few trailers or marketing. It could be just a surprise, and I think that's a great idea to save it as a surprise. That way, it's kind of like how Marvel and Star Wars films have so many surprises and their cameos, and you don't want to spoil it. So, I mean, you know, Jess Harnell announcing that he's in it, but us not really knowing how he's going to be represented, that's something that I wouldn't mind just keeping it as a secret. I wouldn't mind if they did that. Heath Hinton says, I hope they pull an X-Men Days of Future Past and they use this movie in the past to rewrite the current canon and start from scratch. In fact, I think that is what will happen. Anything can happen. I've said before in a previous episode, I forget which episode exactly, and that is, it all depends on box office. I think if it does really, really, really well, I think that they will keep it as the canon and just keep in mind everything that happened and everything just stays the same. However, if it does moderately well, I think that they're going to kind of do something what they call a retcon. And that is what they've done before in the past, like with Terminator Genesis and what's another movie? Terminator Genesis kind of rewrites things. And then there was an attempt to from director Neil Blomkamp to try to retcon everything that happens after Aliens. So that was an option for 20th Century Fox. Also, there was another movie. Oh yeah, Superman Returns. Superman Returns totally retconned everything that happened after Superman 2. So, like, you know, Superman 3 and The Quest for Peace, which is Superman 4, none of them that actually exist. So I think that if Bumblebee does moderately well, this could be like a full-on reboot. This could be the determining factor that it's maybe a good idea to reboot, because what they're doing is changing things by just going back to the past. But I'm thinking if it does moderately well, not significantly and extraordinarily well, it's just an indication that, you know, we need to see change. So, you know, who knows what they'll do, but I think that doesn't rule it out. I mean, I won't rule it out as it being out of the question. It's definitely a possibility, and I'm totally down with that idea. Now here's a comment from ISAF Mobius 18, and I thought this one was a comment, even though it didn't have a whole lot of likes on it, thumbs up on it. I thought it was a comment that that really made me think. And that is, hey Alex, I saw a piece of information on Facebook that might explain their designs. If true, which is looking more likely, Shatter and Dropkick are actually combiners, but that's not all. They have two vehicle modes as well. Individually, they transform into the muscle cars we've seen, but when they combine, they turn into a fighter jet. Don't believe me? Look at the extra parts on them. Shatter has two aircraft wings on each shoulder and two jet nozzle thrusters on her knees. Dropkick has a glass cockpit on his chest and part of the cockpit and fuselage on his back. As for what kind of jet, I'm not sure. The thruster on Shatter's knees look very similar to the rear thruster nozzles on an AV-88 Harrier. However, the cockpit in Dropkick has on his chest doesn't match a Harrier's. Maybe do some digging for more aircraft rights. If so, could the F4 we saw transform in the teaser have a flying partner? And no, I don't think they combine into the F4 since the parts don't match either. That is a great theory. As a matter of fact, when people were talking about triple changer, I'm just thinking, wait a minute, if they do a triple changing thing, then now we're going to get mass shifting, which is, you know, not something that the Transformers live action franchise is no stranger to. They've done it before, but I really don't like the idea of mass shifting due to the fact that, you know, they're trying to keep it more realistic. And once you do mass shifting, it takes away that reality. But hey, you know what? We're 6 movies in. Let them do whatever they want, mass shifting or not. So let's do a little bit of mass shifting. Now, the idea of triple changer is great. I think it's something that really surprises the fans. They're not just muscle cars. They're trying to make these Decepticons a little bit more complex by having them give them a third mode. I mean, a second alt mode, rather. So you got the robot mode, you got the muscle car mode, and then their aircraft mode, which we got to get an idea of, not just from looking at all their parts, but also when they revealed at the Hasbro booth and panel that they're doing a deluxe class Dropkick as an Apache attack chopper. That really tells you that, hey, it's a possibility that Dropkick and maybe Shatter are triple changers, and it looks like that's getting more and more. There's more and more truth to that. So this alt mode photo really, this toy photo, this official toy image from Hasbro really shows you the possibility of that. And to top things off, don't forget that in Age of Extinction, what was his name? Drift was not only a Bugatti Veyron, but he was also Cybertronian helicopter. The thing is that we got two separate toys for those alt modes. They didn't make a triple changer toy out of that. So, I mean, the main reason why is because, well, engineering-wise, I don't think that they'd be able to transform a Cybertronian helicopter, which ended up being, what was that? I can't even remember what mold they used, but it was from an Autobot helicopter that didn't even make it to the movie. But they used that same mold, and to have that mold transform into a Bugatti Veyron was virtually impossible. But I'm sure it's possible if you're like a super duper engineer. But I didn't think that they wanted to go through that. I didn't think Hasbro wanted to go through that. But in any case, having two separate toys, Dropkick being an Apache attack chopper, and Dropkick being an AMC Javelin, if they even make that toy at all, is something that we're obviously no stranger to. We've seen that before with Bugatti Veyron Drift, Age of Extinction. So, but that is not 100% confirmation that it's going to be a triple changer. But everything in this image really shows that they're going to be triple changers. But are they actually going to combine? That is the big question. And when I thought about the whole combination, or rather combiner idea, I was thinking, could they potentially be transforming into Starscream? Because when you look at Starscream, you see the red there, you see the gray, but I don't see any blue on him. So the possibility of that is really quite low, and I just don't see how those parts really fit into place. So I don't think that it actually would transform into Starscream, or if that's even a possibility, like, at all. So I think that might be out of the question, but that toy reveal from Hasbro, and with Dropkick being an Apache attack chopper, really gives you, the more truth. It provides more truth to the concept that we're going to see triple changers. So there's definitely that, but are they actually going to be combiners? And in this case, in the lore of Transformers, combiners that only feature two Transformers are called duocons. So are they going to be duocons? That is still up in the air, because even though an AMC Javelin and Apache Attack Chopper are, like, I really don't think they're the same mass. They can still mass shift. Mass shifting is definitely a possibility, but when the heck is Shatter going to transform into? I mean, she's a Plymouth satellite, so it's got to be another smaller vehicle. And we do have a rotor blade on the shoulder, and also what looks like a wing on one side, but that's only one wing. Where's the other wing? But the turbines are on the shoulders. So, and the air intakes are on the kneecaps. So where are the other parts, and who does she combine with? I really don't think she combines with Dropkick. So now there is the other mystery. So it does look like there is a combiner element there, but who is she going to combine with? That is a big question. Or does she just transform into something that we don't know about yet? Because I only see one wing there. I mean, if you guys can see another wing, then awesome, but I don't see it there. And whatever she's transforming to got to be another smaller Decepticon. But, who knows? Who knows? Because Drift was a Cybertronian helicopter. It doesn't rule out that she could be a Cybertronian helicopter as well. I really don't know, but just throwing it out there. Anyways, they're not going to reveal everything just yet, but all the evidence is right there. I mean, for sure they're triple changes. But are they going to combine? I really don't think so. I think that Dropkick can transform into an Apache attack chopper on his own, but what is Shatter going to transform into and combine with? What is that going to be? I think that's the bigger question, because Starscream is Starscream on his own, but these two are still, or rather Shatter is still a mystery, and only that toy really is the only evidence. That toy reveal image is the only evidence that Dropkick is a triple changer. And like actual evidence, but we don't know what's up with Shatter. Anyways, that's all I gotta say in this episode. It's been very, very interesting. I mean, we only just got revealed two images that are about the Decepticons, and that is the toy reveal, which is revealed today, and then the Entertainment Weekly article about the Decepticons, which was 5 days ago, and we're just going with that. But it just gives us more questions. And I love the interaction. I mean, I love the reactions, rather, because there's so much to talk about from just one single image. There's so much to just analyze and research and just like have so many questions develop into. So there you have it. That's all I got to say in this episode. Thank you to everybody who has been reacting and putting comments. I'd like to give a big shout out to some awesome Ragin Nation members who have been very interactive with all this discussion, and that is Tyler James Velasek, Nicholas Berger, David Balishvili, Reese Lansdell, and Cody Lane. Thank you so much for all your interactions. Really appreciate it. And as always, if you enjoyed this episode and you want to see more, hit the like button, subscribe to YouTube channel, like me on Facebook, The Ragin Nation. Also follow me on Twitter, Ragin Nation. My name is Alex. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next episode. Peace.